What up, Reader fam? Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 series that I do not plan to finish. Bringing you guys a little bit of a controversial video today. For a while I've had this mindset where if I start a series, I must finish that series. But I'm gonna break that mindset because I'm not gonna force myself to read books that I've lost interest in. Ain't nobody got time for that! The first on my list is the Quarantine series by Lex Thomas. Now, I really enjoyed this first book. It was a really unique story idea. It follows this high school that goes under lockdown after everybody is infected with this virus that causes adults to die. For example, there's his teacher and he's teaching his class and the virus hits him and the next thing you know, he's fallen over and he's dead. So the school goes under military quarantine. Ah, see where they got that title? I sure do. So it was actually a really cool concept and it was bloody and gory and interesting and just so much fun. There was a love triangle that I felt pretty meh about. But because of the fact that I've spent about 3 years without picking up the sequel and continuing on with this series, I just don't see a point in continuing on with it. I don't remember half of what happens in this story, so I'd probably have to reread this book in order to even continue on with the series, and I also just feel like I've lost interest in it. I feel like if I was really interested in this story, I would have read the sequel by now. But that hasn't happened, so unfortunately I do not plan to continue on with this series. Next on my list is the Shannara Chronicles by Terry Brooks. I've been pretty dang open about my distaste for this series, so it's probably not a surprise to most of you guys that I am not planning to continue on with this series. If you enjoyed this book, then I am happy for you. I really wish that I would have enjoyed it, but I just found it overly boring. I didn't find the characters that compelling, the story drags a lot, and also, I just wasn't super impressed with the writing. This is a series where I actually prefer the TV show to the book, which I know sounds awful because as a reader, you're supposed to enjoy the books more than the movies or the TV show adaptations, but for me, it's the opposite with this series. I love the show, not a huge fan of the books. Next on my list is the Delirium Trilogy by Lauren Oliver. This is one that I've gone back and forth with on if I should continue on with the trilogy or if I should just leave it be and not complete it. I loved this first book. I thought it was great. In this story, we follow this world where love is considered to be a disease, and at the age of 18, you have to go and get a procedure done in which you are cured from the love disease. And I adored the writing of this series. It was so poetic and beautiful. And it's honestly one of the main reasons that I was considering carrying on with this trilogy and continuing to read it. But I've also had so many people tell me that it's not worth my time, that the ending will leave me disappointed, and that I should spend my time reading other books. Not only that though, I will admit that I've lost excitement over this trilogy. It's been out for a while now, and I've just lost excitement for it, and I just don't see myself ever continuing on with this trilogy. It's been sitting on my shelf, and I'm always just like, oh yeah, eventually I'll get to you, but will it ever happen? Probably not, so I am deciding to not continue on with this trilogy. Next up, we've got Pathfinder by Orson Scott Card. I read this first book and I loved it. I thought it was so great. It is a bit slow at times, but I still really enjoyed reading it. But I read this book without knowing anything about Orson Scott Card. And then when I reviewed this book, a lot of you guys revealed to me how terrible of a person he is. And sure, there are people out there that can separate the author from their work. And if you're able to do that, then dang, you are awesome. I wish I had the ability to do that. There for a while, I thought that I would be able to do that, but I can't. This is just an author that I don't see myself supporting anymore in the future. Therefore, I have no plans to continue on reading the Pathfinder series. And finally, the last series on my list will probably not come as a surprise to most of you guys, but that is the Beautiful Creatures series. Now, I just have to say that I've met both of these authors in person and they are lovely, and I'm sure that the books that they're releasing now are great, but I just honestly don't see myself continuing on with this series. I read Beautiful Creatures when I first started BookTube, and I loved it. I feel like I might have been caught up in all the hype because it was around the time when the movie was being released, and so I was really excited about the movie. I was really excited about the fact of reading the book first and then going and seeing the movie, and it was around the time when I first got back into reading. And then I got around to reading Beautiful Darkness, and I just was not a huge fan of it. One of the main characters in this book just goes in this awful direction. I was just like, what is happening to your character? Can you not be this way? And the story just dragged and dragged and dragged, and honestly, this book put me into a big reading slump, so looking at this book now, I'm just like, ugh. I've also been spoiled for a major thing that happens within this series, so I just don't really see a point in continuing on. And I also just don't think that this is a series that I would enjoy reading at this point in my life. So I have no plans to continue reading this series. If there's a series that I mentioned in this video that you loved, do not be offended. We're all allowed to like and dislike different things. If you dislike Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, that's okay. You're allowed to dislike it. It doesn't change the fact that I love it. And it also doesn't change my opinion about you at all. With that being being said though, you guys should let me know down below in the comments a series that you're not planning to finish. Don't just leave a title down below though, let me know why you're not planning on finishing that series. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so click subscribe if you want to be notified for when I post new videos. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew. What up, Reader fam? As you can see, I'm currently in a different location than where I normally film my videos. I normally film in front of my glorious bookshelves, but they are currently in shambles. And that is because today I am attempting to create the book Christmas tree.